Okay, let's see if things are working. Okay, a lot of noise here. We don't need that noise. Okay, I need to check here on the right side, because there I can check the if the video is live, if everything is working. Yes. And as you can see, guys, I forgot to attach the keyboard. How stupid. So you don't see me playing, but for everybody, welcome. And some people join a bit later on, and as mentioned a few times, you always can watch it back, this live stream. And so today we have some news, and we dive again into Bluetooth later on. And yeah, if you missed the last live stream of last week, that was a very nice one. It's the live stream of the 8th of August with Bluetooth, and that one went very nice with some new presets for Bluetooth, which you can download below in the info section of this YouTube video. So if you have Bluetooth, check it out. It's you see some tweaking around and yeah, creating some live presets. So the presets you hear now from Go2 they are from a sound set. So Go2 has the sound set which is called App Sound Spheric. Spheric, cannot pronounce that one. 01. It's a bank with a total of 70 presets for Go2, and it's a very interesting bank with very nice sounds. There's even a demo song inside of it. So if you go to the Go2 page, you go to the right section, you have a little menu, and there you can select sound sets. And there you will find this sound set and also another one. But this is very recent. It's €10, $10. So it's not very high price. It's very nice sounds on board. So here you see I move a bit the XY. So the presets also have the XY. So these are a few of these presets. So check out the this sound set. It's available on the Go2 page, and then on the right side you find this part which is called sound sets, and there you can purchase this additional sound set, 70 very good presets for €10. Here it is in the I throw it here, of course, in the bank manager. So that about Go2, but I also did mention on Twitter and on Facebook that I had today the announcement of some new presets for raw kick. And of course, raw kick already is a very popular bass drum synthesizer, especially for the guys who love the hard style, raw style, hardcore dance music productions, but also EDM, because yeah, it has a lot of features sound-wise. And we are proud that we have then now also for raw kick a bank from a Dutch hardstyle DJ producer, Frontliner. And so here is the bank with some nasty bass drums. Even one bass drum he had, let's put it a bit less loud, because most likely it's a bit loud. You see quite a distortion, but also hard style. And even has a bass drum, which he uses on his next track. So Frontliner will have very soon a new track called Butterfly, and then he uses this butterfly kick. And you see, yeah, for the people who know raw kick, it's you can use 3 layers. Yeah, each layer can be either a model type, so synthesis, or be a sample, and you can combine this together. It has a lot of cool features. So this is one of the even has snare drums, little analog type of snare drums. Even has a, where was it? He has even a kind of lead sound, made a lead sound using this synthesizer. Okay, then I need to go search category on other drums. No, let's see what it was again. Not sure what he had. That's a sound effects, I think. No, I can't recall the tagging anymore, what I used. Okay, let's go back. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, play on the keyboard, that was it. But it's still a kick. Cranky kick. You see a lot of distortion is used. So that's cool news for the producers who like to make some hard style or raw style or even hardcore dance music. If you own a raw kick, what you can do already is go to the download page and download this latest version of raw kick. Run this latest version of raw kick, and then you will find this bank 02 Frontliner 01. That one is the new one. So that you will find then inside a raw kick. So again, log in, go to my products, open the download page of raw kick and download this latest version and do run it. If you own the Explorer 5 bundle, please do next thing is go to the Explorer 5, open the download page and scroll more down until you see raw kick, and download the single installer of raw kick and run this one. So it's not needed to run the or download the full Explorer 5 bundle. You only it's also okay to only download the raw kick installer to have this last version of raw kick. So that's about raw kick and some very cool presets on board. And okay. Yeah, I see some people join in the chat room now, and people know this Frontliner DJ. Yeah, I mean, some people say it's a this type of music is very easy to make, but it's very complicated to get this sound. Believe me, it's a very dedicated producers which are very into an area which is. It's hard to get the grip on. I mean, if you use distortion, it can go any direction. So keeping the low end well, if you have distortion, easily can get maybe a bit too thin. So and therefore there are these 3 layers in raw kick where you can have layers making more the distortion type of thing, and that the other layer, for instance, is purely for the body, for having still this low end. So so here they are, in total 45 presets of Frontliner. So well, in case of questions, drop it on the right side here if you're in the chat room, and just let me know. Yeah, and then we have, of course, even more, because also for B.I.T, we have new presets. By the way, Rawkick, it's I think no over 900 presets, but with B.I.T, we just uploaded also a new version, and this new version has new presets, 14 new presets by Jamal. So now you will find in B.I.T Jamal 02 with some new presets. And also with B.I.T, it's the same story. If you own B.I.T, go to the download page, open the download page below your registration, download this latest installer, run it, and the next time you start up B.I.T, you will have these new presets from Jamal. And if you have the Explorer 5, go to the download page of Explorer 5, scroll down, you need to scroll down quite a bit, and then you also can see the single installer of B.I.T, download it and run it, and then you also will have it inside your bundle. Okay, so let's play a few presets, because Jamal also has very interesting stuff. So it's 40 presets in total. Let's play a few. Nice sound from Jamal. Of course, more will grow in the future. I will make also some new presets in the future for B.I.T. We are, of course, very busy, I myself, with Punch 2, which will be later this year. But let's play a few of the instruments sound. So this preset, that's very interesting. You see the free row is used by Jamal, and you see the modulation matrix to control the envelope decay. Therefore, you have some notes which are shorter. Very interesting features. So you can do some very complex sounds with B.I.T, although you have everything in front of you. So I'm checking here the chat room. Somebody says I have a very complicated question. Well, yeah, why not? Just ask this question. If I can answer it, I will do this, of course. In the meantime, I go back here to B.I.T and show you a few more of these presets. So, and if you particularly want to know which are the new presets, there is a little trick. If you open the folder where the presets are stored, which is Documents, Rob Harpen, B.I.T and Bank folder on your PC, or in the Mac application folder, Rob Harpen, B.I.T and then Banks. There you can search on date or check with listing in the dates. Then you can easily see which are the new presets. So what I did here is, you see, this is the browser from my PC, and here I open here in the top, I click on date modified. So then it pops up the recent added preset. So that's a way to find them back easily. What we will have in the future in all our plugins is that if you have a preset manager, that we add an extra button which says order on date, and this way then you can stay inside the plugin and check which are the new presets. So you have order by date or order alphabetically. Okay, Dutch, very complicated English word for me. So let's play a few more. Yes. So there are a few favorites. Let's see. is using the chord mode. You see, normally the arpeggiator plays the sound after each other, but this chord mode I introduced already. It was the very first virtual instrument I had, which is handy. Then it triggers the chord, and it's a bit like a gator. Nice when you have a beat. Okay, so a nice preset called Fancy Jamal. That's one of the new ones, but there were some other very nice ones. Okay. So here also the chord mode is used, fifths. So unison is not a unison in a normal mode, but it has a fifths tuning. So and of course all the presets are interesting to study. You see, he uses different tunings, but also the velocity row is used, and the free row is addressed to, again, different parameters. So also interesting to see how he tweaks the sound. So this is a kick. Okay, also in sound. I was looking for another one, but this was a nice one. Yeah, Jamal is brilliant. He's really doing some fantastic stuff. And originally he's a guitar player, so that's interesting to know. And I'm trying to get hold of him for doing also together a live stream. Let's see if that will work out in the near future, so that we have a video together with him. And yeah, you can ask him questions, and yeah, that will be very cool. Okay, I'm checking now on the questions. Oh, drag and drop for drag and drop. It questions about drag and drop. So if you have a parameter here like this release, I can pick it and throw it in here. So you see the dial moves a bit to the right because I moved it, but then you see it here as destination. And somebody does mention that in raw kick it doesn't work well. Sometimes, let's see, here's the modulation matrix. So if I want to have this filter, drag and drop, I throw it down here, and there it is. Seems to be okay. So even if I have this filter on this position, click on it, keep, of course, the pressure on the button and drop it here. It works, and the vowel is still okay. So here in Cubase, it seems to work. So I could mention this too, because Fruity Loops, John uses also Fruity Loops, and I can ask him if this is indeed the case, and he could check it out. Although, of course, John is very soon on holiday, so that will be maybe over a couple of weeks. But I'll let you know then how things go then, and I will write it down for being checked out with raw kick. Okay, let's go back to that was raw kick. We were with B.I.T. And yeah, this one uses phase modulation, which is essentially, it is a kind of FM synthesis, what you hear now. So if I go to the advanced, if I shut down oscillator 1, you see it's only a triangle, and it's modulated by oscillator 1. So I put it on. So that's the cool thing about B.I.T. It's not only virtual analog, has a warm sound, but with a little trick, and that's what we did, is you can create also a 2-operator FM synthesizer. So this is a little bit FM synthesis, what happens here. So the envelope also controls the volume, so I could make it longer. So this generates this percussion type of sound. And of course it's nice, there is also noise. It's more for the attack. Yeah, it's so this makes, so this little advanced panel makes that you can do some different stuff in combination with this here. This modulation section opens a lot of other sound options inside B.I.T. So this was one of my favorite sounds. Oh, this one is also cool. Also uses here that's a bit atonal. So also here the modulation is active, using a sine wave form. So I see some more people joining in. Tonal, Access, hi there, and yeah, cool guys. So I'm playing around with the new presets from Jamal. Then this bank 1 is full. Technically, it's possible to have more presets in a folder, 256, but I just keep it to 128 to keep that program changes also would work if you are inside a bank. But of course, it could be more here, but that's why I stick to it. And then, of course, Jamal had added the 40 new presets, and now we started with the Jamal O2 bank, where the other ones are now always so what we always do is that something works on the modulation wheel, on the pitch bend. In this case, the modulation wheel changes the filter. Okay, let's see, and now go to the next preset. Weird tone inside of this one. It's nice. Okay, next preset. Also some weird sound effects. Yeah, cool. I shut down the microphone so don't hear my keyboard. Yes, very nice. Oh, that's a very nice Minimoog style bass sound, I think. Yeah, but it has a grainy thing to it. Yes, the feedback of the oscillator, which is opening if you use the modulation wheel. And here in the modulation matrix, you can see something is a bit darker with the letters, but that's because it's bypass. So if you click on this modulation number, you can bypass something. This is handy if you want to have a something, listen to it, how it sounds without it. This is a very nice trick for it. Okay, let's play another sound. Arpeggiator sound. So in this preset, he uses the free row to control the volumes of the unison voices. And unison here is a sus4 chord. And by using the free ARP3, he puts in these volumes at a given point. So if I would bypass it, it would sound like this. And now with the free row controlling, so only on given points, it's a is this chord. So if I would shut down all these bypasses, all these modulation matrix, you can hear the sound without it. Put them on now. So yeah, he uses a lot the modulation matrix, and you can see with 6 slots you can do a lot. Yeah, it's called Simplicity, but it's a very nice preset. Needs to mention that we have, of course, a top quality reverb on board. I put it out now. So yeah, some great presets again. Nice. It's also very cool. Sounds very analog to me. Yeah, this is all the new stuff in the Bank 2. So in Jamal 1 and Jamal 2 are the new stuff. And of course, more will come over about the B.I.T. And currently we are over 1,050 presets. So that's already an impressive amount. And of course, the presets are also a starting point. I pointed this out also last week. If you have simply somewhere a sound, take a different filter type, and you suddenly, or change the filter, you can have very fast. Change the envelopes. So just by playing around yourself, take it on another changing the filter here. Of course, you could use also the filter modulation. So yeah, B.I.T is very, it's user-friendly, has a very great basic sound, and of course it's not so deep as Bluetooth, where we go back now in editing Bluetooth, but that's the power of synthesizer. Each has its own strong points and power points, so there never will be one synthesizer which does it all. It's that will be impossible, because yeah, each synthesizer has its own character, and that's why we have Gibson guitars, Fender guitars, acoustic guitars, and yeah, whatever. So I'm gonna check here on the chat room if there's any questions again. Okay. So coming back to B.I.T, so log in to the home page if you own B.I.T, open the download page and download the latest installer and run this to have this new presets. And for the Explorer 5 users, scroll down in the download page from Explorer 5, go down a bit more, and there you will find the single installer of B.I.T and run that to have also the new version of B.I.T. Of course, we will update the Explorer 5 bundle also, but if you already installed it and already have B.I.T inside of it, then you also can download only the single installer. Okay, guys, so I'm checking the chat room. So we could go back to Bluetooth, because in this month we have the Bluetooth month, and we had a very nice session last week in which I showed you a lot of things, and even created presets you guys could download. And I go to the bank manager, and you see this has a bit of different system than our latest plugins. This still has the original bank system, which came over from the hardware. So if you had hardware, you had a bank with 128 presets, like here, down here, the Waldorf microwave, for instance, which has then bank A and B, both 64. Then you had yeah, the EMU stuff with the Proteus 2000. Each bank had 128 presets. So this is the originally VST format, and you still can load single presets. So if you would go to the default bank, you could load then, for instance, the presets, which I did. Date modified last week, and here I can click them at once and open this. Then I have them all in this bank, and of course I need to save the bank then with a name, so that then next time I could load in this bank. So it was Rob Goes Wild. Using the FM. So you see here I have these 4 presets, and I could say down here in the bank manager, save. Then I would save a bank. You see up here, there's the name bank. And you see here FXB. I don't know if you guys can see it, but let's make it a bit smaller. So you could say, if you say, oh well, I want to keep that as a basic for maybe fun part, and you would say, for instance, make it 01 fun bank. I would save it. Then it will pop up here. You see, there it is, Fun Bank. And this one has these presets I did last week. Yeah, this is a very nice FM to XY pad. So this was one of the presets last week, and I really like it. So in the next factory patches, I will add that most likely to the pad bank. And what we have? Oh, FM to XY bottle. Let's try it out. Good questions about the bank names. If the banks are numbers are allowed from 00 to 99. No, that's simply what I did. So if I want to have here save this bank with a totally different number, I can also say whatever 001 fun bank. Then it's of course totally on the top. Here it is. 001, and that's what we also do in Predator 2, although Predator 2 has not really banks anymore, but has folders with type of presets on board. And there in Predator 2 you can see everything which starts with 0 has the new Predator 2 presets, and which starts with 10 is the Predator 1 original preset. So if I go fast back here, let's see, show it to you. We have Predator, and go to the bank manager. You can see here that everything that starts with the 0 is the new presets from Predator 2. And down here, 101 introduction is the original introduction bank from Predator 1, the original Predator. And then if you scroll down, you see we have a lot of Predator 1 presets inside Predator 2. And which makes still that they sound better because we improved some of the coding, especially the reverb is of top-notch quality in reverb in Predator 2. So here you see, but in this case, these are not banks, but these are folder names. So in 101 introduction, these are not inside one bank, but these are single presets in a folder. So that's different compared to Bluetooth, where a bank really is not a folder, but really a original bank system. So yes, so you can, you can make your own numbers. And of course, if you want to create your own presets and your own collection, the best is to keep the numbers up here. So in the 001, then you are sure that it's popping up in the top section. Okay, so I also can delete this bank again. Yes, and then it's gone again. So here we have, you see all the banks from Bluetooth. It of course holds all the original Blue 1 presets also. So if you go to ARP bank, then you have all the presets from the original Blue. Okay, now back to these sounds which I created last week, and FM2 bottle. I'm not sure what I did in that one. It's C here. Indeed, it controls the FM volume D. But also a bottle sound is used. So it's FM synthesis, which is happening in this side. So oscillator D modulates oscillator F, and oscillator A goes out, and this is a combination. So also nice sound of last week. And then we have Crazy XY wobble. Let's see what that was. That's using the XY on the FM synthesis type thing here in Bluetooth. And you see down here the pitch bend I use. You don't see it because I forgot to attach the webcam on the keyboard. But here, if I open the pitch band, Oh yeah, another good question. Can you use the bank numbers as a MIDI bank select? Yes, MIDI bank select works with Bluetooth if you use controller 32. And if you go to the back panel, you can see here, you can put MIDI program change and MIDI bank change. You can make it active, even pick a different MIDI channel. But it's this way that the order is according to the order what you see here. So in this case, none, I think, would be first bank, and then 01 fun bank would be the second bank. So it takes the order here. See all the, so you need to try this out, but it's controller 32. In Cubase, I use controller 32 to go from one bank to another. And then, of course, you have the program change. Okay. So the bank numbers, they are not corresponding, or you need to change it. So if you change, I'm not sure, none. I think none is, no, the first bank would be 01 fun bank in this case. And then, yeah, you need to, it takes this order. So that's something you need to keep in mind. But of course, if you want to create your own banks in a more logical order, you are free to do so. So to start with 00, 001, it's up to you. Just experiment a bit with this. Okay, so then we had, oh, this was the quantize, so the XY quantizing. So yeah, last week it was about this XY pad, which is really very powerful and can do some great stuff. And maybe if you think, okay, let's go to the bank manager, I take the introduction bank, and simply if you have simply a preset, let's take a preset here. Okay, let's just take more sound effects. No, I need one which uses the XY. This is a live mode. Okay, now I lost myself and what I wanted to tell you. Oh yeah, if you want to create your own presets and you simply start from an existing preset, yeah, one of the most easy things is simply to pick a different waveform. So, or simply shut down some oscillators. And then you already have maybe something which is much nicer in your track. So, I mean, if I put these on, it's totally a different sound. So it doesn't have to be always complex. Of course, Bluetooth is a synthesizer which can go very deep, but yeah, for some little things, just by doing some little things, you already can run into a happy accident, they often call this. And of course, I also have my happy accidents, and this preset, essentially, I would say, okay, this is already good enough for a preset. And what you also hear then is that I hit one note, but the chord is playing, which is down here, chord mode, play. And if I put that off, you hear it as a single note sound. And of course the chord is played, and let's hear it again. And if you see this active, sometimes people did email us and said, wow, I have this sound, and if I hit a chord, the CPU spikes a bit. And then most likely it's the case that chord mode is active. And chord mode, essentially you should play 1 or 2 notes and nothing more than that. And maybe we should limit it down this way in the future Blue 3. Because sometimes people don't recognize that some complex things are going on. So I simply play only 1 note here with this sound. Very nice sound. And another option would be, so not only shutting down an oscillator, but pick one of the different samples. This one, if you look and you see, okay, it uses a sample. Let's pick, for instance, here, pan flute. Well, that doesn't work out, so you leave that as it is, and you go to another one. Well, let's take some of the... It's a bit thin, this one. Still could be useful if I shut down. It's more eerie sound, isn't it? So, okay, and you always can go back to the original preset just by pressing original. One thing you need to keep in mind, if you have a nice sound, always save the sound as a single preset so that you can find it back. So if you think, oh, this one is nice, well, then simply save preset, and then it saves it as a single file. And you say, okay, mellow choir or something. I just give it a name now, but then you are sure that you can load it the next time. Then, of course, if you're on a particular bank, let's say digital basis here, which is more the FM based stuff. Okay, let's do FM, and you check here the algorithm. Oh, this is FM. Well, try to change the volumes of the oscillator, so D modulates and E demodulates E and E modulates F. Let's see what happens. See, that's a different sound. Or this D. Now I have a more pick bass, a very dark pick bass. You see, there's no filter use. This is pure FM synthesis. So you go to the algorithm, you can see, oh yeah, this is a FM setup. And simply, you see, F goes out. So F is the last stage. F is the goes to the output. It could be a filter, but also in this case directly goes to the FX. But it's modulated by E and by D, because D is on and E is on. So if I change E, I have many different sounds just by changing the volumes. And if I go to the envelopes, because with FM synthesis, I talked about this last week and the week before, each of the in an FM setup, each of the oscillators have their own volume envelopes, which you find here. And so this D has its own envelope. You can see it here. It's also active. The amount is opened fully. And you can drag it here a graphic way, or... So this is the D. Okay, let's open a bit more. You see a very different character just by changing the envelopes and the volumes of this oscillator, which is modulating. And I can see that velocity is open here, so velocity also controls the volume. This is static, but if I open it, I can use the velocity to have dynamic sound. So I'm checking. Yeah, definitely. Madi is mentioning it is true that the FM synthesis is unpredictable even for professional sound designers. I totally agree. And Hebron said, not for Rob. Yeah, but also for me. Of course, you have certain things which you know what it does, but it's it's always not always predictable. So here this semitone, and of course need the ratio is also for influence. So now it has a different. You see how many bases I simply use by just using 3 oscillators. F is steady, its F is simply have a sinus waveform, so if I play it only F, you only hear a sinus waveform. And E modulates this F with a certain mod volume. And of course here I can change the ratio, which is more this FM thing, although I'll prefer to use this semi-2 because it's a bit easier to find the sweet spot. And then of course D does modulate E again, so algorithm, you see that D modulates E, so D modulates not F but D, so it's and now, and that's the trick with FM synthesis, suddenly you think, hey, this sounds a bit like a Wurlitzer. So make it polyphonic. Put the pitch a bit higher. Okay, then I need to re-pitch. This one also. Down in the lower section, it sounds a bit like a Wurlitzer. So not fully, but yeah, you see, that's then the FM synthesis. Then you need to tweak around until you find the sweet spot. So, but again, it's about making your own preset. So let's go to the next one. And simply we add it with that one. Pulsed bass. Okay, let's go to the FX section up here. And we put bypass also. We have a dry sound. So see here, D, E, and F, you see that pops up a lot in my setup, because if I use this here, I always still can use A and B for something else. So it's very popular in my own presets. You see here, it's very similar to what we had before. Okay, let's see, go to the E. So now what you see again, I do the same. I change the volume. I change the envelope of this oscillator which is modulating, and simply change the semi-tuning. And I fiddle around. Now again I have a different bass than the original one. So if I click original, it was this, and now it's edited. So that's the cool thing. And of course here this velocity is from influence. How hard this E goes into F you can control by velocity. Of course, you can hear that now a bit. And you see, by shutting down D, it sounds a bit more muddy. And of course, for a very, let's say if you want to make more a deep bass, which is not in the middle area, which is very in the low end, only concentrated, so very dark bass. Yeah, you see, even with two oscillators, it's then a bit more body, or a bit more richer in harmonics than only this sinus waveform, which is more sub bass. You see, and E adds a bit of harmonics, and of course the very acoustic like. And if you want to add some edges, yeah, you take this extra, and maybe you think, oh, it's too much, then simply now it's a bit more mid-range by adding this oscillator D, which also has its own envelope. So with this volume again, and also velocity. So now again, it's a different bass. Of course, there is the other thing, which the length of the note is also determined by the amp envelope. So this one, I make a bit longer, the decay. So yeah, even with a current preset, which has maybe this FM synthesis. So again, in short, my tip, go to one of the digital basses, just for your own fun part. I take slap bass. Okay, typical FM synthesizer bass. I go to the FX, I bypass the FX to keep it dry, and then I go back and I check the algorithm, what is happening. And I look up here and see that C, D, E, and F is active. So C modulates D, D modulates E, and this goes to F. Whoa, so it's very complex FM synthesis, you think, and maybe you don't dare to turn it. But what you can do yourself is then change the volumes of the oscillators which are modulating, changing the envelopes, and changing the pitch. So let's first start then with the volumes. So this is the original sound without the FX. Change the volumes. And maybe you think, oh, this is much cooler. You see, simply by, you see this C, D, and E modulate F, simply by changing the velocity of these modulating oscillators, you already have a different sound. Then you know, okay, these three oscillators have their own envelopes, and you're gonna adjust that a bit. So you go to C. Okay, the decay. That you could change the curve. D I could change, let's see. And even E I could change. It's not getting better, but that doesn't matter, just go. Then maybe you adjust again the volume. And so just by changing the volumes and the envelopes, yeah, I have a different sound. It's not necessarily better, but I still can adjust it so that I like it better. Okay. And of course, don't forget that the oscillators which are modulating, so this C, D, and E, also have a velocity, which you see is active here. So that also influences the sound. So if I put it off, the sound is very static. And if I open this, it starts to get dynamic. Of course, I have the keyboard not on the webcam. Okay, so we did change the volume, we changed the envelopes, which you find here. Then the other thing we can do is play around with the tuning. So you could do it in the ratio up here, or simply try with the semi. Of course, totally a different sound than the original. Edit. So don't be afraid to experiment. So okay, that about a bit the FM synthesis. A real piano sound with FM synthesis, yeah, that's a very hard one. I totally agree. You have, of course, the very well-known e-pianos, which are also here inside the keyboards, I believe. These typical. These are the typical FM sound. What is these? Oh, this Wurlitzer sound, I think it's also. See, these are more the typical e-pianos, which of course the DX7, FM7, FM8 has brilliant ones. And we added here also our share. But here, of course, the fun part is that you can combine it with a choir. This is a Fox choir. So this is FM synthesis combined with a sample. Yeah, a real piano, yeah, that's very difficult. I never heard a real acoustic piano, a realistic in a FM synthesizer. And maybe that's also okay because we take then a sampled piano. Okay. What is a very nice sound which I use a lot? I like the guitar sounds which you can make using the guitar groove. Of course, you need to have a little beat with that, and you have a little nice guitar groove. See, that's a very nice, and I believe at NAMM show I meet one film music composer who does CSI Miami or something like that, and he used that in his tracks. And this is FM synthesis, so I can show it here. It's 3 oscillators, in fact, and A modulates B and B modulates C. So if I would only play C, you only have a sinus waveform. Then B. So it's very close to the real guitar sound. So FM synthesis is for guitar type of thing, percussive things, very, very, very nice. Okay. Oh boy, guys. Oh yeah, it's me again. It's already 1 hour past. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, you always can check this video back in the live stream if you missed it, or maybe you're a bit too late. I put it always in the playlist live streams, and then you can check it back. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you back next week. And of course, we dive more into Brew 2 and have some fun together. Thank you.